he actually set me up. He called me from the hospital, but so with that said, we'll start. So I'm just going to share very brief about my childhood and upbringing. Basically, I was born in Carolina, Puerto Rico. Single mom, 4 brothers. Never met my dad whatsoever. No pictures or anything like that. We grew up very poor. I brought a Twix because in Puerto Rico, when we lived in Puerto Rico, a good day was when we could afford one of these. And actually, we would share with 4 brothers and my mom. So that's why I bought this and brought it out. But it was one of the worst projects in Puerto Rico we lived in. I mean, we couldn't go outside. We couldn't play in the yard. It was just, I remember one time we begged our mother to let us go outside, and we did. She allowed us to. And we didn't have to worry about the criminals in our projects, but we had to worry about the people coming in from other projects. And in this incident, there was some type of fight. I remember playing outside with my brother and being pushed to the side, and the next thing, my brother has a shotgun in his head. We were probably 5, 6 years old. With that, after a few years of a lot of those incidents, and the arrival of my sister, my mother decided we need to get out of here. So, of course, from the worst project in Puerto Rico, we moved to Roxbury. So it was not necessarily an upgrade, but at least we had an aunt that lived there. And we moved with her for a few months. And then we moved to our first apartment, which was a 2-bedroom apartment in Roxbury. And I was thinking about that apartment last night, and it would be very difficult for me to go back and spend one night there. You know, how it was just dark, gloomy. The heat would come on at times, not all the time. Our playground was the empty lot across the street, where it was just the adults had a side, and we had our playground where we play ball there, and we never had any after-school activities. Our after-school activities was just playing basketball in a milk carton or playing baseball with a made-up bat and a ball. And the worst thing that happened at that point was that there was a lot of gunfights. So, but you got used to it. The first one was like, okay, it happened, you know, and you ran home and cried that night and so on. But after 3 or 4, you knew what to do. You needed to just duck, wait for the police to come, run home, and an hour later you were back playing in the playground. Summer's vacation, I remember basically grabbing one of these Goya beans can and opening the hydrant and making the, like a waterfall in order to, you know, just get wet because it was too hot. And that was basically our summer games. I mean, we never went to any camps or anything like that. It was just normal. For me, it was just, that was the way you grew up. You know, you got jumped until one day you decided to, that's not going to happen to me anymore. You know, I'm going to fight back. But the thing is, I look at it as it was just childhood. You know, that was part of it. Everybody was going through it. Everybody around us, that's the way it was. It was just normal. So when I hear my kids, and you know, they tell me, "Dad, why are we the only family that don't have a house on the Cape?" I feel like smiling and straggling them, but you know, so I mean, and there's many stories more stories that I could tell you. But it's funny. The only thing I remember is sort of like in Puerto Rico. I remember going to the beaches the whole day and spending the whole day there and having a great time. Or believe it or not, in the middle of this terrible project, there was a mango tree behind the house, and we could pick mangoes once a year. The kite festivals. You know, on Dudley Street, what I remember, or in Dean Street, what I remember here in Roxbury was I remember playing, you know, baseball with my friends and my brothers and listening to the adults playing, steel drums to the music of Puerto Rico and stuff like that. So even though it was really harsh, to me it was like I only remember the positive part of it. And the only time I remember the other ones is when I sit down and reflect on it. But that's just, you know, some of the stories that I grew up with, and to me it was normal. But by the grace of God, I'm here, and you know, I appreciate everything I have, and I try to install that in my kids and everyone I meet. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.